Hello and welcome to Apple Consulting's Central Reach Learn Training module. In this module, we're going to learn about how to create program notebooks from existing templates. In our first lesson, we're going to show you the Apple library of templates so that if you ever want to look and see what it is that Apple Consulting has and we continue to build upon those, you know where to find them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the Learn Program Book icon, and then we're going to go to Library and Purchase Items. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to find the program templates. So you're going to search for the label to come up, Program Templates, and you'll see there's Program Templates label. That's what you want. And then you'll see that there's a variety of program templates there for you to view. The program templates look exactly like they would do in a program notebook. So for example, let's say we wanted to look at predicting drawing the next step in a story. We click on it. We have the File button, which again is something that we just kind of have there and doesn't have any utility. So we're going to go to our next branch, which is the short-term goal. And remember that the short-term goal has all the information that you want for the program template. It has the goal description. It has the instructional note. And here in the templates, you're not going to be able to make any edits. They are templates, so they are set in stone. Only a small number of people are able to make those edits. So if you have any requests to edits in making some edits to particular templates, you're going to have to talk to leadership. The other thing to remember is the targets, again, have the mastery criteria in them. And the mastery criteria, if you scroll down, are at the bottom. And the default for criteria and prompting settings is 80% times 2 sessions, save for baseline criteria, which is 1 session. So what you're going to see in all of the templates is, except for parent training, which have different criteria, but all of the skill acquisition templates are going to be defaulted to baseline 80% over 1 day. Then if it's less than 80%, then it's going to auto-progress to intervention. And then the client needs to have 80% over 2 data points in order to auto-progress to generalization. So that would pop on your data sheet. Generalization criteria, 80% over 2 data points. And then it moves to this nice maintenance level. The maintenance level has criteria as well, but you'll notice that it's also displayed every 5 sessions. So every 5 sessions, the client is going to have the opportunity to maintain their skill. If they have 80% over 1 day, they auto-progress to the next item in the hierarchy. If not, they stay and it's displayed every 5 sessions until they meet criteria. In the second criteria, once they meet criteria of 80%, they go to every 15 sessions exactly, actually. Every 15 sessions, the set will pop up and the client will have the opportunity to respond at 80%. If they do respond over 80% or at 80%, then they move to a frequency of every 30 days that it would pop up on the data sheet. And keep in mind that if they don't meet mastery criteria, they go back 1. So if they had every 15 sessions and they got a 70%, boom, they go right back to every 5 sessions. So it's a very nice way of doing maintenance and automatically regressing or progressing as needed. So now we're going to go back to the library and templates and purchased items. So again, we're going to go to the Learn Book, click on Library and Purchase Items, navigate by Program Templates. Once that comes up, click on it, and there again we have our program templates. The nice thing about the library is that you can search very easily for certain items that you're looking for. So let's say you're looking for emotions. So you can just type in any search text, emotion, and then it reveals results of any program that has the name emotion in it. So you see we have a lot of theory of mind, different emotion ID, causes and problem solving, and it allows you to search and see what it is that we have here at Apple Consulting. Here's how you set up a program notebook in Central Reach for a client. You navigate to the Learn Program Notebook icon, click on Clinical, and then click on Learning Trees. This is where all the program binders are going to be held. So you can see we have a program notebook here, a couple other examples, and you see it goes by the FILA, the first initials of the first name and the first initials of the last name, which we'll go to in a second as we name them. But we're going to go over to the button at the right, the Add New Plus button. And then we're going to use the FILA, like I said, in this opportunity, we're going to use John Doe. So it's J-O, first two letters of first name, D-O, Doe, first two letters of last name, program book. And the type of learning tree is very important. It is a contact learning tree for program notebooks or program binders. And you're going to click who it's assigned to. And in this case, it's John Doe, so we start typing John Doe's name. There it is. Click on it. And then we click Create Learning Tree. The first thing that's going to pop up is a Sharing and Access area. This is very, very important to make sure that everyone who is working with the client has access to the program notebook. You're also going to want to add all leadership to your program notebook. The way that you do that is simply by going to the share area and start typing in leadership. And you'll see the contact label leadership coming up. Click on that and then press share at the right. And then what will happen are all of the leadership will come up. And typically that is going to be, since this is John Doe, this is already shared with everybody. But typically that's going to be Christopher Jones, Steve Mikowski, and Allison Lowy. Obviously, or Allison Lowy Apple as well. And what you're going to want to do is look for Christopher Jones and make sure that he can edit, and Steve Mikowski as well can edit. But you're going to want to make sure that for all of your program notebooks that you're writing for your clients, there's Steve Mikowski and he can edit. Make sure that leadership is included as a contact label added to the share button, and make sure that all leadership can edit. So you're going to, as the BCBA, most of the time who's going to be assembling it, or the program manager, you're going to want to make sure that the BCBA has access, and all you would have to do is type in their name and click share, and make sure, let's say the program, the supervisor was Alessandra Farno, and you're the program manager making the notebook. You want to make sure that the supervisor can edit. So not read only, but can edit. So for program managers and supervisors, you want to add to sharing and access. You want to make sure you click the can edit button. You also want to make sure the behavior technicians have access to it, but we want access as read only. So again, you would type in the names of the particular person and whoever pops up that you need. Then you click share and you make sure that it's read only. The next, and then you click close. The next thing you want to do is you always want to make sure that your learning tree, your program binder is active. So we're going to click the Make Active button, and we're always going to remember just to do that first. It helps to facilitate the development of the program notebook. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to go over to the left-hand corner and click Add Your First Branch. Now the nice thing about Apple Consulting in terms of program binders is we actually have a program binder that's preset for you that you can add, and it has all the information that you need available as seen in the module in navigating a program notebook. So what you're going to do is you're going to move over to the Library button, and that's where all the program templates are. Click on Library, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for program template, see if that pops up. Let's try again. Try notebook. Or let's try for the last time. Let's see if template it pops up. What we're looking for is the program book template. So we have the program book template here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure and not click here. We're going to click on the arrow button. And then we're going to click on Client Programs, which allows us to click on and have all of the other items in the Client Programs section. And then we're also going to click Client Treatment Plan Narrative through Assessment. Then click on Add Selected. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to refresh your screen. And you may have to do it a couple times in order for the program notebook to show up. And here we have the program notebook set up. And so what you'll see again is we have, for the purposes of setting up this program notebook, we're going to talk about setting up client programs only, not necessarily the treatment plan, which is set here in this area. So we're going to go back up to client programs. I'm going to close up the treatment plan area. And then you'll see the different domains that Apple Consulting uses for our treatment plans. So let's say I want to add a behavior goal. It's very simple to add from existing templates. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the long-term goal or the domain, and then you're going to click on Add Branch, the plus button to the right. Again, you're going to click on Library. So let's say you wanted to add a requesting break program. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the search area of the templates library and search for the word break. Press return or the search magnifying glass. And what's going to happen is you're going to see a bunch of programs and short-term and long-term goals for that have the word break in it. And what you want to do when you're searching for goals is you always want to find the goals with the arrows next to them. Those are the ones that you want to pay attention to. Don't pay attention to the rest of the others. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look down, press the arrow down, and what you want to find is the short-term goal. So we're always looking for the short-term goal, and we were lucky here that with the first arrow we found the short-term goal, and that's what we were going to add. Here we only have the targets, so that arrow is not going to work. Here we have the file button first for requesting break, and we also have the short-term goal, and we can add it there as well. But let's go ahead and add requesting break with the short-term goal right up at the top. You're going to want to click on the short-term button once, and what that does is it allows for all the sets to be captured into that particular program, and then you're going to want to go to the bottom and click Add Selected. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to refresh. And again, you may have to do it once or twice depending on how long it takes to process that change. But here we have requesting break has been added. So as you've seen in the client notebooks, we have the long-term goal, the short-term goal, the information on it, the goal description, the instructional note, and again, the mastery criteria are always 80% times 2 sessions. Later on, we'll show you how to make some changes and edits to the programs, but for our purposes today, we're just focusing on adding the existing templates to the program notebook. So let's try that again. Let's go to a different area, social communication. And again, I want to add a program under the domain of social communication. So I want to click on social communication. You want to move over to the plus button to the right, which is add a branch. Click on library. And I think I want to add personal questions. So I'm going to see if there's anything called personal. Search for that. And there's personal info right there. And again, you'll see that there are 3. And then from the arrows area, you're going to want to find the short-term goal to add from. So I'm going to look at the top one, and that does not have the short-term goal, although you can scroll down or arrow down again and use the short-term goal right there. You can look for it, or you can also just look for the short-term goal as the first item below the arrow, which is right here. Either way will work fine as long as you're just including the short-term goal. You click it once, it adds all of the corresponding sets to the actual program. And if you want, let's say you only there are 10 sets, you only want 5 sets of the actual program, what you can do is you can click on the check boxes next to them and say you only want 5 sets. But you're always going to want to keep the combined graph at the bottom, which is something we'll go into at a different module. So click Add Selected, and then you're going to click the Refresh button. And once the refresh button is clicked and you see the screen, you'll be able to see that personal information has been added. So you'll be doing this with all subsequent domains. If you want something in the cognitive domain, you click on the cognitive button, which is the long-term goal. Click on the plus button, click on library, search for whatever template you want, and make sure that you are looking at the file button, the one that has a file button as the second one down, and then make sure and click on the short-term goal one time only.